Here we go. So the Creative Entrepreneur Podcast, second podcast of the day. Start, input selected. Okay, testing 1, 2. Nope. Let's see here. Try this again. Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Yep, that works. Good. All right. So we're talking about 5 ways Google can grow your creative business. And those of you who are interested in the Tube Labs podcast, that is moved over to, actually, if you go rosh.digital in your URL, that's where that show is. But that's already happened this week. So that's next Monday, 11 o'clock Eastern. That's where you find the Tube Labs podcast. This is the creative marketing podcast for our Creative Entrepreneur Show. And we're talking about Google. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I want to share 5 ways. Actually, I'm probably going to share more than 5 ways in which you can grow your creative business. So, and I'll take some breaks in between while I'm recording the show to answer and comment to folks who are here. So I've kind of learned how to do that. So I can just edit it later in the final show, just edit that part out. So I can at least engage with the people, take the time to come here and watch the show. I mean, really. That's important. Okay, here we begin. Oops. Oops. And no, that's not the first time that's happened. Not even close to the first time that's happened. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, LOL. Right up your alley, huh? Okay, little slapstick humor. Okay. Welcome to the Creative Entrepreneur. It's going to be that kind of day, isn't it? Welcome to the Creative Entrepreneur Show. My name is Rosh. It's so good to have you here in this show. We're talking about 5 ways Google can help you grow your creative business. Oops, is this? Oh, no, we gotta. Oh, it stopped recording. Well, that's not good. Good thing I caught that. Actually, when I use Restream like this, it actually records it, so I have a backup. Testing 1, 2, yeah, okay. What I'm looking at is GarageBand. I record on GarageBand, and that's where I edit, so that's why that does that. So I could see the GarageBand had stopped. So, hey, Royal Gaming, good to see you here. Waiting for 30 minutes. Wow. Royal Gaming is from Nepal. Good to have you here. Okay, here we go. We're going. Again. Again. Welcome to the Creative Entrepreneur Show. My name is Rosh. It is so good to have you here. In this show, we're talking about 5 ways Google can help you grow your creative business. And I'm probably going to give you a few more than 5. There are a number of ways you can use Google to grow your creative business. And we know some of the basics, but let's just kind of start from the top to bottom and even some of the other properties that are available. So what I like to do is first let's talk about ads. When you type it in the search box, generally people are looking to solve a problem. And that's why my agency focuses on Google so much. Yeah, Facebook is great and Instagram's great. There's some ways you can develop leads through those other platforms. But when people go to Google, they have a problem that they want solved. And if you can be the one who solves that problem, you're the winner. So we start off with the ads. And when you type that question in the search box, you get ads at the top, 3 at the top. And those ads are run through the ads.google system. It's actually also where you can advertise on YouTube too. So it's ads.google. Use your current Gmail account and you can advertise there. Now, there are a lot of things that people do that honestly, just amateur mistakes. I see them all the time when they try to advertise on Google. It's really important to be focused on where you want your ads to go it's important to understand how to use keywords. Keywords, a lot of times I see people use keywords and they're very generic keywords. And that can really hurt your campaign greatly. You want to be very specific with your keywords. And over time, you have to test the keywords. So you can start off, and Google actually give you some suggestions as to how to use and what keywords you should try to use, but test everything. And quite often, when you start using Google Ads, you'll get a nice friendly phone call from Google. And if you're really unsure, feel free to use their consulting service. However, do know that I've spent a lot of time fixing advertising campaigns which Google helped people set up or build out. Because generally, the advice they give helps Google as much, if not more, than the customer. And I've not been a fan of what they try to do. They just try to throw a bunch of words against the wall. And I really recommend start off with a few words, a few keywords, very focused, totally related to what you do. And then build out from there. Don't put in a ton of keywords to start off with. Build out. And then create a few ads. Try a few ads, test a few ads, and continuously try to improve your ads. Now, one thing that I recommend you do, and this is true with any platform, when you find a winning ad, let it run. Let it run. And let your winners win. A lot of times people get a winning ad and they immediately put up another ad. Well, that is hurting the value of the winning ad, the one that's getting all of the clicks, the one that's getting all the conversions. Let that one run for a while and then do a couple-day test to see if you can find one that does a little bit better. And then stop that and let the winner run for a while and keep that process going. And know that there's seasons. You can't just set up Google Ads and just let it run. And unfortunately, there are a lot of agencies out there. There are a lot of people who actually go out there and sell their services, set up a Google ad campaign for a client, let it run and don't do anything. Maybe check in every 6 months. I look at all my clients' ads every single month, even if it's well established, and make adjustments. And sometimes in the early days, it's every day. Then it's every few weeks. And if you have a really good, like for example, I have clients I've been running ads for 5+ years. I'm looking every few days because I have to wait for enough data. No matter what, no matter how long you've been doing it, running ads, you have to wait for enough data before you can make a good decision. And so I have a lot of clients who are doing great, and it's a never-ending process though. I don't stop. I can't just let it run because you're going to go back one day and realize something went wrong. And it's rather embarrassing to realize, oh, that something went wrong for 2 months. You just don't want that to happen. All right, I'm going to take a pause here, and there's a question or two, and I want to answer them before I get on to the next topic. Let's see. You want to meet? Oh, okay. YouTube or Google? Where to add. So advertise ads, ads.google.com, and that's where you advertise for both YouTube and Google. Which is better? Depends on what you're trying to do. It's on the same platform, so you can certainly, I think YouTube is really good for developing awareness of your business. I think YouTube can be very valuable. You can get leads also, but I think YouTube is kind of like Facebook and Instagram and the other social media platforms. Good for awareness. You can certainly build a lead list through YouTube, but honestly, I think search is much better. Yes, both are the same. Both are the same platform. Same place, exact same place. You advertise for both. Just kind of like on Facebook, you advertise for Instagram through Facebook too. Same platform. Just check the boxes. Same kind of idea. Okay. Okay, next section. Next section down below the ads, you'll often find, but not always, it depends on, well, if you're in the trades, you'll often find this. you'll find what's referred to as the 3-pack or the business. This is the My Business area. This is what we refer to as local SEO. And the best way to go about that is to go to Google/My Business or /business. Let's double check that. Yeah, it's business. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to give out wrong information. Go to Google/business. And there you can set up your account and tell Google all about your business. Fill out everything. There's a lot of information to be filled out about times you're open, and you can blog there. You can add photos and videos. I highly recommend you fill it all out, and Google will show that on the sidebar when people are searching for your company specifically. And if you're really lucky, you do well, you will actually get listed in the 3-pack. Now, how can you improve that? Well, one, be active, keep your information updated. There are a lot of tips and tricks in the world of local SEO. I'm not as much of an expert in the local SEO area as I am in the broad SEO area. But one thing I know for sure, if I'm going to give you one tip that I highly recommend, is make sure you have a plan on how you're going to get people to review your business. And don't do it from your location. Don't go to a networking event and have people, when we can go to networking events, and have people sign in and give you reviews. Or I'll do it from your business, and every time a customer comes in, Google knows where those reviews are coming from. Have them do it from their home, from their location, from their device, their own device. It's really important. So I recommend you keep it updated. There's opportunities to blog. You can even create a website there, and maybe you want to create a mini website so people can go there and land on it. But you do want to have at least the opportunity for people to go to your main website too. So it is look, if you are looking for information on a restaurant or a local business, chances are you're looking for the Google My Business. You're just used to it. You automatically feel that that's a trustworthy location for information, and so do other people. So make sure your business is also updated and trustworthy and not lacking information. And honestly, Google's adding stuff all the time to that area and making adjustments. So you really do need to keep an eye on it. Even if you're not highly involved in it, at least check in about once a month and make sure everything is correct. All right. Let's see. Questions. Can I add an Instagram? Can you create an ad in Instagram? Yes, but not through Google. You have to do that through Facebook. Any other questions here? Okay, no. Okay, going to the next part. This part's a little bit bigger section. So that's local SEO, but SEO in general, search engine optimization, is where I've always excelled and have done very well, and I've supported a number of businesses. I have a nice, great group of clients that I really enjoy working with, and I support them with their SEO. In other words, I try to get their website to the top of the search engines when people are typing in the search box. Now, obviously, before that, we have the ads, and we do have the 3-pack, the local My Business. But it really are the clients who engage in both ads and SEO, and as well as understanding and supporting their My Business page that do the best. Doing both ads and SEO really has been an excellent combination, and those are the clients who've grown the most through the years, because they don't just do ads, they don't just do SEO, they do both. And I think part of it is one kind of fills in the gap for the other when it just gives you more opportunity. And two, the trust factor. If somebody sees an organic search result but also sees an ad, they know that business is legitimate. And I've seen it tend to be true that display ads tend to support organic ads, and organic ads tend to support SEO because you tend to get higher click-through rates when people see those ads. And I have seen display ads or traffic campaigns help SEO. I know they say they're different platforms, and they very well may be. However, the traffic you get from your ads, I think, does play a role in your SEO. I've actually seen the graph. I've done it. I've flipped the switch on a new website that was not ranking at all. Not a new website. A website that was at least 15 years old was not ranking at all for certain keywords. We flipped the switch for ads, and all of a sudden the SEO, it started ranking higher for the keyword. So it was an established website. And so that means traffic is an important factor when it comes to search engine optimization. That's why I like to write articles that have low competition on websites. So if I want to create a page or a blog post, I will research it and find a keyword, often a long tail keyword, of a question that people are putting into Google. And one of the ways you can figure this out is if you put a question in Google, you'll see the people also asked section. That is a good hint in terms of maybe some of the articles or some of the topics you want to address in your blog or on your website for SEO purposes. So consider that, because especially when it's a young, when it's a really young website, putting up those blog posts early on can help drive that traffic early enough to really start getting that momentum. And you continue to get that momentum. You keep adding articles and you keep adding pages. Activity is so important. Activity is a big key when it comes to search engine optimization. Search engine optimization is not a one-time event. Yes, it is about title tags, and it is alt tags, and it is all those tags and so forth. But that's on-page SEO. There's on-page and off-page. And on-page is the structure, and it helps Google understand what your web page is about. And you start off, if you look at the title tag, you look at that as the headline, and then everything else should support that title tag. In other words, each page should be focused on one topic, not multiple topics, one topic. Then from there, you develop authority and links, mentions. When people mention your business, it doesn't even have to be a link to your website, but mention the name of your business in relation to the topic related to your business. That can be valuable to your SEO. But a link from another website on a page that Google already considers highly regarded, related to that topic, that helps your SEO because you're trying to develop authority off page. So you have on page and off page, and there's so many things you can do. I use a number of tools to help guide me in this process because there's so many activities you can take on in search engine optimization. However, the question is, which one is right for your industry? Which actions are right for your niche and your website specifically in your town? The reason a website is #1 for plumber in Denver could be totally different for plumber in Detroit or Miami or New York. And it's important to understand why and what it is that's going to help you get to those top positions. And of course, further up the chain you get, higher you get into that top 10, it's harder to move from 9 to 8 to 7. It keeps getting harder and harder and harder to do that. So the more robust your website is, over time, the better off you're going to be. And the more traffic you can drive through various methods, including advertising, but also creating good blogs, all that can be very helpful in the overall process of activity in growing your SEO. So SEO is very important and has certainly have made my companies through the years. I have made a lot of money, quite honestly, through that, and my clients have made a lot of money because of that, because we paid attention to our websites and we brought traffic in from people who had a problem and found us through the search engines and solved that problem by calling our customers or asking for more information. All right, let's check here. All right, Let's see, Jarhead, man, you work so hard on your channel. It's been followed for years. Thanks, and hey, thank you for being here, Jarhead. It's been so long. Yeah, I have been working for a long time on this, and I see another question, but let me address Jarhead. Yeah, I'm not giving up. I mean, there's no reason to give up. I enjoy making videos. A lot of people ask, how do you just keep going? You know, it's like, look, I have thousands and thousands of views. Not every video is a hit, but I've gained such great opportunity by just keep making videos. I like to share, and that's why I keep going. If I was bored or felt defeated, I guess I would stop if I felt it was hurting me, but it's not. It's not. I have a really good business here. It helps me because I help people in the world of Google and YouTube, and being, understanding the struggles of being a YouTuber helps me help other people who want to do the same. And so it's been good. And then I also have the podcast. The Tube Labs podcast came out a year ago, and that's over at thetubeblog.com. And I record that on the other channel, on the Rosh Media channel. But good to hear from you, Jarhead. Six, that's great. We've been connected for quite a while now. All right, what am I talking about? I'm talking about 5 ways you can grow your creative business with Google. And thank you, Ram Sharma. I hope I'm getting that right, for saying I'm an inspiration. What do I do in real life? I own a media company. That's what I do in real life. And it's going very well, extremely well, by the way. My business grew 100% this year, literally 100%. And it was doing well before that. I think a lot of that, with the whole COVID thing, certainly played a role. But I have a good team. It's not just me. I have people. This is actually a studio. This is a 2-story building. And I have a team. I have a studio downstairs for both photo and video. This is my office upstairs. And there are other offices in the building. And so, yeah, I'm doing well. All right, Jarhead 6. It's amazing. Thank you. I've been doing it for about 7 years. So you know how much it takes. Absolutely, you do. And man, I know you've gone off into a family area. I also know that you've had a tough area that YouTube has kind of put the squish on, it seems. So that's quite the bummer. I always appreciated how you approached your topics. I really did. So you've done good work, Jarhead 6. Okay, let me get into the next area, which is YouTube. All right. So while creating your creative business, I often talk about While developing a creative business, I often talk about the combination code, and we actually have a code, 7531. And the 7 is 7 sources of income, 5 people to support you in your process, and 3 are processes, working on 3 processes to improve all the time, and 1 is channel building. And building a channel which you have a voice. Now, my original channel that I built a voice and I am certified on is Twitter. I did very well on Twitter, and it literally took me around the world. These days, I focus more on YouTube, and that is a Google property. So that's another way you can develop a community and grow your business like I do on YouTube. And no, I don't have hundreds of thousands of followers. I have a few channels. I have a couple with well over 1,000. This one has getting close to 3,000. And I've been working on this solidly for 4 years. Jared 60 said he's about 5, 6, 7 years. And it's a long-term game. And if you look at even Mr. Beast, after 5 years, he had about 7,000 subs. I mean, everybody has their own path and grows at their own pace. But if you're serious about it, I think the only people who fail on YouTube are the ones who quit. Let's be honest. Those are the ones. If you enjoy creating videos and enjoy what you're doing, just keep going. What does it hurt? Especially if it brings opportunities. And this channel has brought me opportunities. 1, to create the Tube Labs podcast. I'm a longtime podcaster. I've been podcasting since 1999. Before there was a pod, this show that I'm recording right now, although I'm live on YouTube and Facebook and others, this show actually originated in 2008 as the New Media Photographer podcast. and it's continued on since then. So the thing is, you get new opportunities, and because I was a podcaster, understanding YouTube and growing and learning so much, I decided to start that channel. And the2blog.com is where that's hosted, and I record it like this on the other YouTube channel. It's a lot of fun, and you get to meet a lot of people, like Jarhead6, who's we've connected years ago, and it's good to have him. He's a familiar face, and someone that you almost feel like a friend because you watch his videos and you feel like And so it's very true. But I've also gone to like Vid Summit and meet a lot of people that I watched on YouTube for years and got to meet them, and they're now friends. And not now that some of us are even in mastermind groups, names that on YouTube, because it's good to support each other, new friends and opportunities. And so I found great benefit. And yes, I've gotten work out of it too. So yes, there's such great opportunities. But when it comes to your creative business, especially if you're a visual person, building that authority. Remember I mentioned authority and how important that is for your SEO? Well, YouTube can be a part of that plan. Develop authority on YouTube and you can drive traffic. Remember, traffic is part of SEO too. And you can drive traffic to your website from YouTube. But when you build that authority, people connect with you when you're on video. They feel like they know you and you know them. And it really does build relationships and authority and your expertise, especially if you are a creative that wants to really develop your niche. You can be the best and really show off who you are as a creative on YouTube. And that's why I find this just so amazing. So there are a lot of opportunities, and YouTube is certainly a great place to do it. Now, there's a lot of other places. I think this is the fifth thing. It's just kind of the overall of the the Google opportunities out there. I mean, there are some tools that Google has that can really help you grow your business as a creative, such as Google Analytics. Google Analytics, something I've been diving into. They have their brand new Google GA4 Analytics that has just come out, and it's powerful stuff. But it's a little more confusing, quite honestly, than the other one. It digs deep. If you have an Google just heard me say Google. So if you are an e-commerce site or sell e-commerce online, Google Analytics is this new Google Analytics can be huge for you. Just so many opportunities, drills down where you can really compare different segments of your audience. So Google Analytics, Google Search Console, which is your connection to Google if you want to submit. Well, they've shut this down for a while, and I hope they bring it back. But it really is the insight on how Google looks at your website. And this is also helpful for search engine optimization. They also have an AI component, artificial intelligence, where you can upload videos and also photos, and it'll examine and actually tell you what it thinks about your photos and videos. And that's really helpful because now you know what Google's thinking when they are doing, ranking your website. For example, I had a client that had a website, and I took the banner and I put it in the AI, and it totally thought that the accounting firm was a hospital because of the banner. It was totally, completely wrong. And so it's helpful to know how Google sees your website visually as well as the text on the page. So those are some tools that are available that you can search for online. There are many different. Google has a large suite of tools. Those of you in the chat, do you have any tools that are favorites of yours that Google offers? Let's see. All right. Let's see. What do we have? Yep, near 3,000 subs. Let's see what else we have. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello from Bangladesh. Thank you for being here. Okay. Any questions before I get into finish up this last section? I'm recording the Creative Entrepreneur Show. Some of you know I was recording the Tube Labs podcast, which I record at 11 o'clock on the other channel. And you can get to the other channel, rosh.digital will take you to the other channel. Rosh.video will take you to this channel, YouTube. And then there are also people watching on Facebook. At least this is available on Facebook at the Rosh Media. And I think I have this on Periscope too. Of course, people come into Periscope and wonder who the heck I'm talking to. When trying to develop your creative business, understanding all of the different ways that Google can help support you is important. Even within Google Docs, the SEO, there's so many things that you can use. And I recommend search them out and fill in the forms and start to work with them, because Google will support you if you are active. Activity is such an important part of the creative process when working with Google. And the more creative you can be and the more eyeballs that you can get on your work within the Google hemisphere, I think you're going to succeed. And no, it is not too late. Just a simple thing. If you are trying to get traffic to your website, as I mentioned, look for low competition things. Start to look around. Let's say you're a local photographer and you often photograph at a local hall for weddings. Why don't you create a page, a robust page about that hall and how you photograph weddings at that hall? Now think about other things. You may not be a photographer, maybe you're in a different area, but there's something that you related to your community, especially if you're trying to go for a local audience. What are the topics that you can talk about that will help you get to the top of the search engines that are related to? You may not be the first spot for that hall, but maybe you're the second or third one down. And people say, oh, they're looking up the hall, but then they see just below it a photographer who works at that hall. See, finding those related things in your local area can really be a big benefit. So be creative. Use the tools. Use the PowerPoint presentations. Use the websites that they create. Use YouTube. Use all of these different tools that Google gives you. And you will start to see results. It takes time, but the nice thing is that it compounds. And keep creating and use your creative skills in combination with Google, and you're going to find opportunity. All right, we'll talk to you next time on the Creative Entrepreneur Show. Have a great week. All right, there we go. Creative Entrepreneur Show. That'll probably be released next Thursday, the coming Thursday. I have to edit the Tube Labs podcast, and I'll release that today. Any questions before I go off the air? KK Entertainment, hey, how you doing? You want to learn graphic design? Yeah, I am not a good graphic designer. So I live in Michigan, United States. All right. Hello, sir. Big fan. I'm a younger cricketer. Yes, you've been. I have seen your comments. That's media. That's the dream is to be a cricketer. Okay, very good. Well, I certainly support you in your dream to be a cricketer. I mean, just keep working at it. There's a lot of competition. So you have to keep building on. Don't compare yourself to other people. Just keep being the best you can be. and keep improving your skills. I live in Michigan, United States. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. You working hard? No, yeah, I've not been working on this for 11 years. The channel's been open for 11 years. I've been working on this for about 4 years. 4 years this month, actually. So I've been in the business and on social media for a long time, though, on different types of social media. Okay, wrapping it up. Thank you again. Great to see everyone.